Greetings, everybody. Welcome to another spiritual awakening with Oladele and Kehinde Dosunmu. Ekudede with you.
Greetings, everyone. How you guys doing?
Okay, guys. Today's topic we're going to be talking about why the one size fits all system does not fit everyone in our society today. Just to give you an overview and a background in terms of where we're going with this. In our system today, the system that's been built is basically one particular system that is basically a Western system that's been thrusted upon everybody around the world today. So basically, every civilization or every place you see, we have a global system that everybody seems to be following.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't matter where you go, from Asia to Africa to Central America to the Australia to whatever. Even though most societies have their own unique way of doing things, for some reason, the Western civilization is a one size fit all system that most people have adopted to be basically the modus operandi or the business system that everybody fits into. For this reason, a lot of us are losing our unique essence. Because don't forget, Western civilization is a new phenomenon because we existed way before the Western civilization came into existence. Africa was the original civilization, and we functioned properly, and we did what we need to do, and everything was fine. But for some reason, the Caucasians, the Western civilization was entrusted upon society today as we know it. Now, everybody seems to think that the education system, the agricultural system,
Is it religion?
the religious systems, every system I could think about is basically what everybody's tend to be copying, which has made us lose our uniqueness in terms of humanity. So as a Nigerian, okay, my Nigerianness, even I don't even want to use the word Nigeria because even Nigeria is a Western construct.
Yeah.
But as an African, what's unique about me? Because I'm sadly I'm speaking to you in English because I've been brought up to speak that way. Because if I use Yoruba, most people not understand what I'm saying anyway. So that's become a global language that we use to communicate with ourselves. So the system, most especially the educational system, as a Nigerian, we teach our kids to be English. There's nothing Nigerian, nothing African about educational system. Our agricultural system has become a cash crop kind of system, agricultural system, which basically makes our farmers plant what's not needed in Nigeria to feed the West or feed the cash crop business, but not look after what we need to sustain ourselves, which we did in the past. Our religion, our spirituality, that's become Western or Arabian.
Yeah.
So our own African original spirituality has been taken away for us to fit into something else. So what we're trying to say here is, for we as Africans to be ourselves, we cannot use a one size fits all that's been entrusted upon us for us to survive and exist. Consequently, a lot of people are struggling with this. A lot of people would do their best to fit into the system because they think being relevant in that system is what's going to make them. It gives them the status. It gives them that credibility and the I don't know what else to use, but it gives them the importance. But a lot of people struggle to fit into the system through education, through religion, through even the food we eat. A lot of people struggle. So what we're trying to say here is, as Africans, we need to embrace our authentic selves and go back to what worked for us. Because a lot of people will say, okay, but there's a dark ages in Africa and science did not work. We all know that. Everybody had the dark ages. Everybody did. Even the Europeans had the dark ages, which was worse than ours, but nobody speaks about that. We tend to focus on our negativity. But there was things that worked for us. One thing I know for sure was that before the Europeans came to Africa, Africa never lacked. We had a system that worked for us. We had the knowledge system, we had the food, we had the sustainability, we had the environment, We basically protected everything we needed, and we worked within nature, and we were never ostentatious to seek beyond what we need. Now, in the, today we're gonna focus on basically probably the educational system, the spiritual system, where a lot of people tend to be struggling, trying to find relevance in that system, which takes them away from who they are meant to be. I'm gonna leave you there. Let Kehinde carry on.
Okay. Hi everyone. I think it was a couple of days ago I was actually saying to my husband that why do you think some people I think these days tend to suffer from depression,
Mm,
and I think it's because the reason why I actually asked that question was there was a time in my life that I actually had that issue. I'm not sure whether I would call it depression or I was actually battling with my identity because I believed that there were things that I was struggling with. I told him, I said, even I actually over the years I did not mention it to you. Remember,
mm,
I said that I later realized that I was actually suffering from dyslexia,
mm,
meaning when I was young, I struggled to read and write and comprehension and all that. So then I noticed that it was so bad that it actually affected my self-esteem,
mm.
my confidence, my the way I interact with people, because I believe that if you have that kind of, and I didn't even know what it was called then. I thought it was I was just they say, oh, if you can't read, if you can't write, that means you're stupid.
Mm.
That means you don't fit into the, like you said, educational system. So because this is how
Yeah.
we were supposed to to function.
Mm.
So because I didn't have that what's it called, educational what's it called, way of life, to read and write, I was so down. I was so actually affected my childhood. I could actually categorically tell you that I did struggle. So later on, I was just thinking that, okay, imagine people actually that suffer that kind of maybe I call it trauma because it was actually very traumatic to me. If you don't experience it, people will not. It's people that understand that experience it will understand what I'm actually talking about. So I said, okay, these are the things that I noticed that the label is a particular, is a one, did you say
So
one
one
size
size fit all
fit
system.
all
Yeah.
system? So if you have an individual, like you said, that lack these things, the moment you notice that you don't have them, what do? Then you withdraw. You kind of remove yourself and start doubting even your very existence,
Mm.
and which is what happened to me. Then I said to myself, these people are actually playing God, because when we look at human being, we said every human being that existed on earth is actually was. I mean, the Bible did say fearfully and wonderfully created. But then when you came here, when you came to this planet Earth, you find people start putting you in this particular box. This is what you have to do. This is how
Basically,
you have to exist.
they created a
A
system,
system.
and that's why we said the
This is what
word
you have to
one
fit
size
into.
fits all. Whereas not everybody
Yes.
can fit into that system.
And then I said to myself, if really God really loves me, why doesn't He give me that ability to be able to read and write, which I'm sure some other people actually have issues with. So I was thinking, God, you can't be a loving God to everyone. There, maybe there's some particular people you actually love. That is why they have this way, to fit into, wherever box that everybody put them into. Because I believe I wasn't fitting into that. So I told him, I said, I think people actually, the society is playing God in the sense that you immediately, a human being exist in this planet Earth, you have to. It's as if you just have to fit into the culture, into the environment, into the religion, even into families. Because some people will say, actually, I notice I don't fit into my family. I'm thinking, but why? Then you realize that actually this kind of individual have their own unique life, that they're kind of unique in their own way, meaning that what their personality or their biological trait is actually slightly different from maybe from their peers. So they find themselves isolated. They notice that they just don't fit in, and this can actually cause depression. And the increase in depression, I believe, in mental issues, psychological issues, because people are not fitting into the box that's created for them. And the very moment you find yourself in that situation, what does it do to you? You withdraw. And when you withdraw mentally, when you mentally withdraw, then you begin to kind of create these your own what's it called, illusion. I don't know, whatever you call it, you want to call it, illusion, or the way of thinking. And your way of thinking that you notice it's not fitting to other people, becomes an issue as well. So you say to yourself, actually, I think I'm a mistake. I don't think I belong here. So these are the things I told you. I said these are the things I believe that in this society, in this world we're living in, people actually are playing God, and so many people, like I said, have other traits that doesn't it's not so common to everyone else, have issues in fitting into the system. And like we said, we were mentioning that, okay, why did other people actually then can fit into the system? Remember, I was asking you that, how comes others actually would get on with it, will fit into this system that's been made for them? Are they okay with the system, or they just get on with it, or they have this way of adapting into system that we live in? Why do you think that's the case then?
I look at the society this way. If you look at the world we live in today, majority of people are sheep and shepherd, because they just follow what everybody else is following. And that's one of the biggest challenges facing the world today. Because everybody's following the system doesn't mean the system is right. The fact that you have so many people following the same system, that's one of the biggest challenges facing humanity. That's basically why we're all into this one size fit all kind of situation, because everybody thinks that's the way.
That's the way of life, yeah.
Even though I don't believe in the Bible says the way to heaven is narrow and the way to hell is broad. So what does that tell you? That means everybody, and basically the majority of people, are following the way to hell, according to the Bible. But people don't think about it. When you're unique, you see what's around you. You see what other people don't see.
Yes.
When you're spiritually in tune, you see what's around you, see what other people don't see. The fact that majority of people are trying to follow that broad path should be a red flag to a lot of people. So why are they all going this way? Why are they not looking backwards?
Yeah, that's my question.
And this is basically one of the challenges facing a lot of people, where people follow, but the ones that are not wired that way, the ones that are not wired that way struggle in society, because the society says you have to be this way, you have to be that way, you have to read, you have to write. Like Kehinde said, someone who has dyslexia, reading and writing becomes an issue. Okay, in the olden days, which I've never done, but I always refer back to the olden days, we never have to. We had our ways of. It's called the. I can't remember the word, but we had our ways of writing anyway. In those days, we had our ways, and we found ways. Okay, we also had oral history. We did things in particular ways, which basically fits into society, which.
So nobody's left behind.
Yeah, nobody's left behind. And also, what it does is, we had our own educational system, and it fitted into what we needed then.
Yes.
In our environment.
Yes.
Oyinbo will come and they say we are
is it uncivilized or
we're uneducated? Uneducated is the word I'm looking for. Uneducated.
Yeah.
But our forefathers could predict what's going to happen in the next 6 months.
Yes.
We had our ways, because don't forget, we as Africans existed. We're the first humanity in the world.
Nature, that's why.
But
in tune with
we lived, like Kehinde said, we lived with nature. We're in tune with nature. Our education was around nature. We basically followed nature to exist. So nature dictated how we live our lives and how we function. And then, lo and behold, we had the Western civilization that took that away from us and brought this one size kind of fit all system, which basically takes you away from who you are. Like I've said, majority of people might follow, because majority of people are shepherd, because they like to copy and copy and copy.
And they copy what is popular as
well. They copy what's popular because everybody's following. And we are so dogmatic in terms of, and even in families, when your kids don't fit in, you tell them off, you label them, you call
Mm-hmm.
them olodo,
Or you call
all these
them the
kind of
black
things,
sheep,
black sheep
black
and all
sheep
that.
of the
Or if
family.
they go against a particular way, you label them.
Yeah.
But when you go against these things, basically what you're doing is you're one of those unique people. You have a leadership quality in you that sees what other people don't see.
Yeah. Yes. Sorry, I think when you said the word label, I think that's another danger, because I think I noticed that when you label something, what you're doing is actually putting them in a cage. Because when you say, oh, someone is a particular so way, so that person they start believing in what you're calling them, because you're giving them a name. So they won't want to even venture. They won't want to actually kind of get themselves out of that box, because you put them in this box. You've labeled them. So, oh, you're this. You're what's that word? Black sheep of the family. Then you notice that person start actually behaving like the black sheep of the family, because you've labeled them, you've given them, and not knowing that this person is actually unique. They're different in their ways, in the way they do things, and the way they think. But because you've given them that name, that black sheep of the family, they will act that way. And that's the dangerous thing about labeling. The moment you put a label or you put a stamp on something, you've limited them.
And that's one of the biggest challenges in our world today, because we label everything.
We label everything.
We
It's
give,
like a full stop.
everything now. We got label for everything.
Yes. Oh,
And
someone
the
is
moment you
acting
have
this
a
way, yes,
label, because
they
and all the
they must
labels
be
are
like,
based on
yeah,
the challenges that we're facing in our world
yes,
today.
yes,
Because
yes,
the challenges that people don't fit in get
mm,
labeled,
yeah,
but people don't see beyond the
the
labeling.
danger
That
of being
why is this
labeling
person
them.
being the way they
Yeah,
are? Why are they different?
yeah.
Is there something that we can do differently that's basically going to bring this person to become who they
Who
really
they
are?
really are.
Or
Yeah.
look beyond what you already know. Because sometimes the danger is looking beyond what you already know, which a lot of us don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Because we've been
lazy.
so educated to be a particular way.
Yes.
But nature gives us a different way.
Yeah.
But we're following a societal way.
Yes.
We're not following what nature wants us to do or how nature wants us to exist.
Yes.
And when we take ourselves away from the natural existence and put ourselves in the societal existence,
yes,
that's where the challenges are.
Yeah.
Like we said, most people will follow this because that's basically how our people move. Because you can see the sheep, they just follow the leader. They just go.
Yeah.
Because that's how society is.
Yes.
But there are few of us who don't follow the leader, who question everything.
Yes. I think that's where our spiritual awakening, kicks in. Because when you're spiritually awake, you want to know why. Why is this like that? Why are we doing it this way? Why can't we do it that way? Why don't we look into it this way? But because you're not spiritually awakened, what you do, you just follow, like we said, you follow the path that everyone has actually put in front of you. So you don't want to say why anymore. Because you believe that when you say the word,
you don't want to rock the boat.
You are rock. Yeah, they say you're rocking the boat, or you've been what's that rebellious? Oh God, he said that person is very rebellious. Why do you have to question the system? Why do you have to question the government? Why do you have to question religion? Why do you have to question Christianity? All these things, they will label you that as if you're the one, that you're the troublemaker, that you just want to cause, I don't know. But the moment you're spiritually awakened, what this does to you is actually help you. It help you question what is going on in the world. Why are things done this way? Why are we not looking at things the other way? Why do we have to look at it a different perspective? Why do we have to look at it in one way? Because everybody's looking at it this way, so we have to follow the same, the same pattern. And like I said, that's another thing as well, the 9 to 5 as well.
Yeah.
I said that's another one. I said some people, like I said, do when it comes to sleep pattern, their sleep is actually quite different from others. Some people sleep early, maybe 7, 8 o'clock, but some people, their deep sleep started around 3, 4 a.m. And then unfortunately, those type of people will have to wake up, early, because they have to go their 9 to 5 or even 7 a.m. now.
Yeah.
So, but these are the things that people don't actually take note of. Of course, at the end of the day, you still have to kind of adjust yourself to that.
Yeah.
But doesn't kind of help you in the sense that you're not fully awake, because that you're not truly yourself. So you're operating half, anything you do now is halfway, you're not fully functioning, like way a human being should function. So these are the patterns, these are the things that we're saying, that if we've been put in this box that most people, not all people can fit into it, that becomes a problem.
Yeah.
And if you don't sleep well, what does that mean? It actually affect your your daily lives.
Yeah.
You know, it affects you health wise as well. Anxiety, you feel low, you feel, then before you know, you start feeling down, depressed, because you're not having enough sleep.
Guys, look at the world today. Depression is at the highest rate ever.
Yes.
Depression in every facet of society is
horrible.
Kids are committing suicide daily because
people
parents are putting pressure on their kids to be a particular way. If they don't fit in, you know, they're dumb, they're stupid, they give different kind of labels to different kind of people.
They have issue, they have problem. Yeah.
But people never question or think why.
Why is this kid
why are they acting that way? Imagine kids. Just look at this. Imagine kids. Kids, you know, like to run around when they're kids, but all of a sudden you put them in a classroom. So basically, yeah, you put them in a classroom.
2, 3-year-old, 4, 5.
2, 3 years in a classroom when they're supposed to be playing around and exploring things around them. So basically, from an early age, you're programming the kid.
You cage them.
You know, the uniqueness, the way they're supposed to function naturally is being taken away.
Taken away from that. Yes.
So basically, we're taking ourselves away from how nature wants us to function to how society was built for us to function. That in itself is one of the biggest challenges we face as human beings.
Nobody's free anymore.
But you're not free.
No,
you're not free because basically you're programmed to be a particular way.
Yes.
Being unique being your unique self is now frowned upon. Whereas that's one of the most things that you should be celebrating the most. If people are uniquely gifted and they showcase their uniqueness through nature, not through society, but through nature. How nature's meant them to function. They should be celebrated and embraced because that means they're different from others. But because everybody follows the leader, follows the sheep, and does what everybody else is doing, people think, oh, the majority is right. Sadly, I can say here categorically that the majority of us are dumb.
Are wrong, that way.
I'm using the word dumb because all of you are following a particular system that was created for you to fit into. You're not actually questioning why is things the way they are, because you have to question everything. And when you're not questioning, and some people would question, but they let it go because they think, that's how it is.
Function is that's how the only way I can function, the only way I can actually have my daily bread. So if I don't do it this way, how else would I put food on the table? Which is true. I mean, like you said, that is so true. Because then you actually are forced to actually conform to the system.
But that is why where we are. That's why we are where we are.
You say, oh, I have no choice. I have to.
So basically, that means the society does not allow you to be yourself.
No, and that's why I said society is playing God. We're playing God instead because we actually are tampering with human. These are human. These are real human beings.
We're basically tampering with the human existence, the way we're meant to function.
You don't allow people to really truly be themselves. But sometimes people say, "Oh yeah, I'm unique. I'm being myself. I'm doing." But you're not.
You're being unique based on the system that
was created
for you to fit into.
But
you're not. For you to be unique, you need to see yourself away from the system,
outside
the system, outside the one size fits all system.
Yes.
If you think your uniqueness or your essence or your creativity or whatever is in the system and that's going to make you, then you're basically just one of those people who follow the system.
That's it.
Uniqueness is you being yourself away from the constructs that's created for you to fit into.
And that is why, like I said, I don't mind if some people do have this way of fitting into the system. It's okay, but it's just the ones that cannot fit into the system. Why don't you let them be then? Let those people be, do not pamper with their existence, the very be, their true self. But unfortunately, the reason why these people are depressed, they just can't get themselves out. They can't truly function in their own, true self.
Sorry, Kehinde didn't expect this, but this is a personal story. Her brother died of depression. Why? Because he could not fit into the system. They were drugging him, they were giving him tablets, all sorts of things for him to calm him down. But nobody took the time to actually ask him, why are you the way you are?
Wow. What's
The
problem?
deep issue?
Why are you?
Because a lot of people are
What battle
depressed
are you
right
fighting?
now, and they tend to pump him with chemicals
Drugs.
just to calm him down.
Yes.
But we never get to the root cause
of
what's going through. Why are they the way they are? We
yeah.
never ask those questions.
It's true.
And even if you ask those questions, because you're programmed to believe this is the way you're meant to be, you don't see what they see.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, you call yourself specialist, but you don't understand.
No, none of the specialists have
but
actually
you're programmed
ever helped
to come with a solution that fits into the system.
That's already been put
in your book.
In a book, yeah. So when you're trying to this, and that's human beings were so complex. So you want to use what was given to you, the information that was given, to actually create a healing,
a solution
to someone that you feel that this is a special breed. Guys, so how would you then cure? How would you actually solve that problem?
And this is basically where spiritual awareness comes in. So for those of you who say you're spiritually awakened, if you don't see these kind of things, I'm sorry, you're not.
No, that means you're not spiritually awakened.
You're not.
Just, maybe
you're just one of those sheeple that follows a leader.
Yes.
That follows what everybody else is doing.
Absolutely.
Anyway, guys, we can go on because we love talking. We can go on. But we're gonna end it here. We probably might come back to this topic, I think, because it's a one that we can talk on about a lot longer than this.
Absolutely.
So, but guys, just follow us. The channel is called Spiritual Awakening on YouTube. Subscribe to our channel. Let's help grow this channel. And what we're doing, as what you see us do, is talk about topics that people don't want to talk about.
No, they shy away from. Yeah.
We confront every topic that needs to be talked about: education, spirituality, farming, you name it, because we believe that we are caged into a system that's taking people away from who they're meant to be.
Yes.
And we need to be our unique selves for us to be able to manifest what our Creator put us on this earth to fulfill and manifest.
Yeah, it's not going to be an easy journey. We know that. As the moment we actually came out to say, okay, we're spiritually awakened, we know it's not going to be an easy one because most people won't understand us, and that's fine. Yeah. Actually, I'm okay. Before I used to worry how people will embrace that, but now I'm absolutely fine.
We're comfortable with it.
I'm comfortable with who I am and being different, being unique.
You know, the good thing is that we too actually understand. We're on the same page.
Yes.
And as long as both of us get it and we understand each other, we don't particularly care what the rest of the world says.
Yes, because we live in our true self.
Yes.
Yeah, we live in our true self. Like I said, it's not as if it's going to be easy, but we're getting there. It's just taking it one day at a time. Yeah. So
thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And we'll see you on the next one.
You guys take care.
And remain
blessed.